Hi, I'm Tim and this is Timberway Designs. In this series of videos here, I take 10 common rocks anybody can find, we cut them in half, and we look and see what's on the inside of these rocks. And then I'll take each one of these rocks and I'll make a cabochon out of them, where you can see them in video 57 in this one here. So Jim from Indiana sent me a nice selection of rocks here we're going to cut in half and take a look at. But first we're going to look at them before we take them down the saw. So let's take a look. So Jim was kind enough to send me a nice selection of rocks here he picked up, and we're going to look at them, and then we're going to take them downstairs and cut them in half. So we'll look at this one first here. To me, this looks like a chunk of gneiss. Actually, I think it's been cut here, but we're going to cut it again anyways. It looks like it's got some garnets going on in there. Let's get it wet. Oh yeah. It looks like garnets. I mean, it might be quartz too, because it's not fine. Usually gneiss has got a really fine texture on it, and this one don't. So we're going to cut it open and see what it looks like anyways. Again. This nice sedimentary rock looking rock here. Get it wet. It's got some bold pattern in there. Hopefully we can get a good shine out of it. Another one here that's been trimmed once. We're going to trim it again. Looks like epidote. And I'm not exactly sure where he found these. If Indiana, he could have found them on one of the Great Lakes down there, but I'm not positive. I think it's got a little weight to it too. There's what the one cut side looks like, but like I said, we're going to cut it again. You got this cool looking another sedimentary rock, kind of black and white here. Yeah, actually it's got kind of a grayish bluish theme going on in there. That should make an interesting cut. This one here, almost got like a agate appearance going on. It's like a fortification right there. Yeah, and there's another heavy rock. It should have some cool terrain hiding inside this one. This one here, to me it looks like a hunk of granite. Yeah. Ooh, it's got a little pinkish going on there. I think this blue is from the bag it was in. Okay. This big smooth looking rock here. Big chunk of chert, I think. Got a nice band running through there. And there's what it looks like wet. That's kind of cool. Okay. This one here, it almost looks like a Montana agate. Obviously not from Montana. Interesting. Yeah, we'll find out. Another sedimentary rock. Yeah. Okay. Finally, this one here. A little pinkish deal going on. A little pattern in there. We're going to find out for sure. So I'm going to gather these rocks here. We're going to take them downstairs in the saw and we're going to cut them and see what's inside. Although two of them we know what's inside, but we're going to cut them again anyway. So I'll see you down in the saw. All right, we're down here on my high-tech 10-inch lapidary saw, and the first thing I usually do is I'll show you that this is a continuous rim sintered diamond blade, and I'm rubbing my thumb on it right now. And it's absolutely not sharp. It cuts by grinding with embedded diamonds in the blade. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to touch it up to expose more diamonds so we get a better cut on these rocks. So let's start chopping. Alright, first up is this one here. I'm just going to cut the end off. Now I'm imagining the inside is going to look like the outside. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that's cool. Alright, we'll talk more of about these upstairs when we get done cutting here. Alright, cut this one here. I'm thinking I'm just going to cut this face off. Let's see what this one's hiding. Ooh. Don't even look nothing like the outside. That is awesome. Okay. This one here, I'm going to split it right down the middle. Pattern and color. Wow. Okay. Alright, this one had already been cut once, so I'm just going to cut this end off here. It looks like, oh yeah, I like it. Hopefully it'll shine good, but the dark part's here. Okay. This one here. Crack there. Just cut it like that. See what's hiding in here. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Right. This one here, another one that's been cut once already. Except I'm going to cut it like that. Okay, I like the green in there, and it feels like a relatively hard rock, so it should shine well. Okay, this one here, I'm thinking I'm going to cut this side off. What do we got going in here? Ooh, look at the layers. And the color. Didn't see no yellow on the outside. Awesome. Cut this beast here. I want to see what this pattern looks like here, so I'm going to cut it probably like that. Okay, here's ready for reveal. Ooh, that looks cool. Okay, this one here, and very nice. I think I'm going to cut this end off here, just to see what it looks like on the inside. Okay. Kind of cool. Right. This one here. I'm gonna cut this side off here. Okay, pattern and color. Ooh. Okay. Like that. Alright, I'm going to bag these up And we're going to take them upstairs and take a closer look at them. All right, we made our cuts. We got some pretty cool looking rocks here. Let's start looking at them. So I'll run it through the bath first to get the crumbs off. So we had this sedimentary looking rock here. Had some pretty interesting pattern on the outside. Then you cut it open and there's yellow inside. Look at that. Kind of cool. A lot of different colors looking in there. Who knew there'd be yellow in there? And that's what's neat about cutting these rocks open, because you get to see this. We had this big one here. It's kind of shiny on the outside. Had this cool looking brown and yellow pattern in there, so I tried to incorporate that in the cut, and there you have it. Get this camera to focus. So I don't know how all this is going to shine, but we're going to find out when we make the cab. There's what it looked like on the outside again. And this little black and white one here, a little pink, like that, a little pink right there. And it pretty much look the same on the inside. And a lot of these granites here, they've been making really good cabs, so I've been picking them up more. But I didn't pick this one up. Jim picked this one up. We had this, actually I'm going to call it chalcedony, because this thing was hard when I cut it. Kind of lumpy looking outside like that. Almost agate, but not quite. A few fractures. I think that's a fracture there. Might have to cut it open, or cut it a different way. Maybe cut this side off here and see what I get. But it should make a pretty shiny cab, that's for sure. We had this other large sedimentary rock here. Kind of a reddish theme going on. That's pretty. Now if it shines good, it'll make a really nice looking cab for sure. But that's that one there. Might have to take another piece off. This has got a little thin. Maybe, I don't know. That might be good. And I got this epidote looking one here. Now somebody had already cut it once, so that's kind of a cheat there, but I cut it again. And there's what I got. I think that'll make a cool looking cab. It was pretty relatively hard rock too. So get that one there. Now here's another surprise rock. Look at that from the outside. I see orange and dark gray, right? And then you cut it open. Look at that. Actually, looks like there's some fortifications right up here. But that is just pretty. Never would expect that just looking at it on the ground. Okay, we got this one here. Dig the pieces out. So another sedimentary rock. Kind of a grayish, blackish looking one. That's about what we got in the center there, but I like the stripe. So we'll see what kind of cabochon we can make out of this. A little gnarly looking rock there. And this was the other one that was pre-cut. I went ahead and cut it again anyways. I want to say it's quartz. I was thinking nice, but I don't think so, because it's just, the grain is just too rough on this one. So, but I went ahead and cut it anyways. I think it's that those pink things are garnets, I'm pretty sure. So I'll end up cutting another slab off this for the cabochon. Yeah, I thought that was really pretty. You can kind of see them bumpy right there. All right, and then the final rock Jim provided me here is this big light colored one. Cut her open, and that's what we got right there. Kind of a cool looking little pattern in there. I'm thinking this is like quartzite, really fine grain. I'll probably take another slice because this one it come out a little thin. I might make a larger cab out of this one here. Well, I'd like to thank Jim for sending these rocks. We are going to take each one of these and we're going to make a cabochon out of them, and you will see them in episode 57. So I got the cabochons from episode 55. We're going to move these wet rocks out of the way and we're going to take a look at them. Lake Superior rocks made into cabs. All right, we cleared those wet rocks out of the way that Jim sent, and now we're going to look at some cabochons from rocks that I picked up on Lake Superior Beach about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So start with this one here. So this is the one, this is my favorite going into it. I went ahead and made a couple cuts out of it because there's so many pits in here. I was trying to get a clean cut there. Get it wet so you can remember what it looked like. I just absolutely love the little jasper inclusions. It's almost agate-like. You see that there, lots of quartz in there, but these pits were kind of problematic. So here's cabochon I made out of it. Decent shine, just a little tiny bit of undercutting. You can see it right up there. But I got the stripes in there the way I wanted. There's a couple little pits. There's one there, and there's a couple there too. But man, I thought that come out really nice. So there's the original rock, and there is the cabochon I made out of it. All right, this one here, I'm just going to stick with amygdaloidal on this because I think the other one I called it, I can't remember, it begins with an M, something like that. It's got little spots, but I don't think that's it. So get a little moisture on here. That's what I kind of had to work with there. Like the pattern with the inclusion of quartz or calcite or wherever that is. Here's the cabochon I made out of it. Decent shine. Got the white and the gray in there, kind of incorporated. So there's the cabochon, and there is the original rock that it came out of. Yeah, this little round chunk of quartz here. It had some orange and some red. I was kind of wishing that it went all the way through, and it just didn't quite do it the way I wanted. You can see a little bit of red right there. Made a nice shiny little cabochon though. There's cab. Got a little bit of red, but not in a heavy pattern like I had hoped. I don't know. I'm not going to complain about it. It didn't come out too bad at all. So there's original rock, and there's cabin made out of it. All right, this one here had that dark band running through it, and it did run all the way through the rock. Here's what it looked like. Had a lot of porosity though, but really pretty rock, I thought. Here's the cab. And actually, I think that band had some hematite in it. You can kind of see it running through here, but it had a lot of undercutting. You can kind of see that there and there. I don't know. I don't think it takes away from the cab too bad. It is it's pretty cab. So there's original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. Had this interesting little one here, kind of quartzy looking stuff on it, and then had a white end on both ends. I was kind of hoping it kind of ran through there in a band, and it did not, just on the ends. So this must have been a piece of cementary rock that got chiseled out of something. But I managed to incorporate one of the white ends there, and it shined good too. So there's that one. And a fracture in the back, but you don't really see it on the front. So here's the original rock. There's cabochon I made out of it. Really good shine on this one too. All right, this is the one I cut 2 times. I just couldn't quite make up my mind what end I wanted to. That was the first cut, and this was the second cut here. This side did look more like a chunk of granite to me, so I went ahead and went with this side here. So there's the cabochon. It just, I don't know, it's okay. I was trying to avoid fractures and stuff, so usually I would run that band at a diagonal, make it a little more interesting, but I don't know. Decent shine, okay pattern. There's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. This piece of epidote and quartz, little black stuff in there. And that's kind of what it looked like after I cut it. And here's the cabochon I made. Really pretty, lots of undercutting though. And if you don't know what undercutting is, undercutting is when you have 2 minerals mixed together and one is just a little softer than the other one, and it wears away a little quicker when you're running across the wheel, especially on the polishing side. Just enough where you can see little differences in height in there. That's what we call undercutting. You can kind of see it all through there, down in the bottom here. I mean, it don't take away from the overall cab, but it does kind of hurt the shine a little bit. But I mean, this one's really cool looking though, with the mixture of quartz and the epidote in there. So there's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. All right, this was my gray and gold one here, which, you know, kind of nondescript rock, but when it's wet, I thought it looked kind of cool, like that. Had a little red spot right there. Well, here's the cab. Absolute nice shine. Here's another one, just a little bit undercutting. You can kind of see it in the square right there. But from a distance, you're not going to notice that at all. I thought the pattern came out pretty good with the gold and the gray there. Unusual rock. I've never found anything that looked like this that I can remember. So there's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. Got a piece of unakite here. What superior rock cutting program would not be complete if I did not put a piece of unakite? This one was really pretty. Had kind of a lacy epidote mixture going on in there like that. Here is the cabochon. Really good shine on this one. Got the lacy epidote in there. I think overall it come out pretty good. There's the back. And that's, yeah. Nice mixture there. Epidote, mica, and feldspar. Maybe a little quartz in there. There's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. If I can get it to focus here, there we go. And then we had this piece of granite here. Now, from the video, I had a comment and said it looked like a Gila monster. Now, if you don't know what a Gila monster is, I'll put a picture of it up here. But yeah, they were right. It did look like a Gila monster, the colors anyways. But I've been picking up these granites a lot more because they shine relatively well. So here's the cab I made out of it. I did a natural shape, and it is just gorgeous. Got a good shine all the way around. Good pattern. Like the contrast. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with this one. So there's the original rock. And there's cabochon I made out of it. Quit bumping the camera. So all these cabochons will be available on Etsy when I get them on Etsy. Don't hold your breath. I have not been doing a very good job of that, but they will end up on there eventually. So let's clean up here and finish this video. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me cut Jim's rocks in half. There's some pretty cool looking stuff in there, although a couple of them we got cheated on because somebody had already cut those. I don't know if Jim, if you cut those or not, but you know, we're going to make the best of it. But I think they're going to make good cabochons, especially that green one. Let me know what your favorites were in the comments down below. And then episode 55, where I cut the Lake Superior rocks in half that I found. A lot of them are pretty good. Some are okay, but let me know what favorites of those you liked in the comments down below. So all of them will end up on Etsy sooner or later. I know I keep saying that. And then this video will come out every Wednesday, and then I have another video that comes out every Saturday where I take a rough rock or a slab and I show you my whole process of making a cabochon from one end to the other. So check that out sometime. And then all you subscribers out there, I really appreciate it. You got me over 20K and it's still climbing, and it's just awesome getting out there. And all you viewers that haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's absolutely free. You slide down, give me a click on that, and then slide over and give me a thumbs up, because that gets the analytics out there so more people can find this content. And then you can hyperlink it on your mobile device. You can share it and push the bell button. That way you'll get notifications when these videos come out so you don't miss any of this good stuff here. So I'm going to put playlists up for these videos here that come out on Wednesday, so you don't have to go digging around through them. You can watch 1 through, I think, where we at, 56 now. Watch lots of cool rocks being cut in half. And then I'll put up the video from the Lake Superior rocks being cut in half if you want to watch that and then come back and see the cabochons. So thanks again for tuning in and watching. I really appreciate it. That's all I got, and I'll catch you later.